So, hello there everyone and welcome. It is Niran here, and today it is time for the start of a new journey. Welcome to episode number 1 of our career mode with Inter Milan, or Inter, or Internazionale, whatever you choose to call them. We'll stick with Inter, because usually people get annoyed when I call them Inter Milan. Nevertheless, we are starting this career mode, starting the new journey with the Italian side, but with a twist. For those that are already with, or that have been with my channel since, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, will know that I've done a whole city career mode on this channel. So basically, instead of starting a new career mode entirely, what we've done is we've stayed in the same save, but just accepted a managerial role with Inter. So we are actually still in the same save. We're at the end of Season 2, basically, and we're about to jump into Season 3. So if I search for some players, this is the side, obviously, that we ended the career mode with. So we've basically left Hull, gone straight to Inter, and we're at the exact same point in the career mode. You can see the entire side, all the regens and whatnot. Obviously, we've got all the ratings of the players because we've only just left that side. There's Vincent Cosiello, the man himself. So I feel like Inter Milan was a side that quite a few people wanted me to go with, and obviously it's a team that has a decent sort of backstory. When I was growing up, Inter were one of the greatest teams in the entirety of Europe. They obviously won the Champions League relatively recently, and since then it's sort of dipped a little bit, and then it's starting to rise just a little bit again. But of course, given we're at the end of Season 2 and towards the start of Season 3, this isn't necessarily the side that you'd expect to see at the start of a career mode, because it's obviously chopped and changed a little bit during the save. Samir Handanovic here is still playing for Inter. He's stayed, he's here for the long haul. Danilo D'Ambrosio is a Inter original, he's still at the club. Jason Murillo as well, the Colombian centre-back, but they've got a new signing. Jose Maria Jimenez has signed from Atletico Madrid for Inter Milan, 85 rated 23-year-old. He's going to be key at the back during this save. I'll get onto transfer targets and all that sort of stuff and getting into pre-season friendlies in a second. I just want to sort of introduce you all to the team. Got Christian Ansaldi here, the left back. João Mario, already at 86 rated as well in this, because he's obviously reaching his potential. Marcelo Brozovic, the Croatian central midfielder. Antonio Candreva, the Italian winger. Eva Banega as well, they're 84 rated attacking mid. Ivan Perisic is still at the side, doing very, very well in real life. He's 83 rated at the moment. Gabigol, or Gabriel, the Brazilian striker, hasn't reached his potential yet. He's still 21, but looks very, very good indeed. Marco Andrioli there, slightly aging centre-back. Jeffrey Kondogbia, Yuto Nagatomo led the left-back. Gary Medel as well. Jonathan Bibiani, the pace demon, although he's starting to decline. Stevan Jovetic, Andre Hahn, who was signed from Borussia Mönchengladbach to Inter in this save. And then we've got some of the younger players there, Pinamonti, Bakayoko. It's a very big side, in all honesty, and if you want to stop on some of the younger players and check them out in bigger detail, then make sure to do so. Kieran Tierney, as well as signed from Celtic to Inter in this save, so he could be quite useful. We've got some more of the younger players here, and a lot of these guys, honestly, may not make the cut. I'll show you who's up for sale in a moment, and again, you can pause on some of the players if you want to. Gianluca Caprari there as well, very pacey striker, might be a good super sub. Juan Jesus, who's apparently a left back now, thought he was a centre back. Josip Ilicic, last time I checked he played for Fiorentina, but he might have signed for Inter in real life, I'm not entirely sure. Safir Taida for Inter as well there. We've got some more players, Davide Santon, Ranocchia, Tommaso Berni, Rodrigo Palacio, obviously, Eder, and some more, Felipe Melo, and then a few guys out on loan. Now, for those die-hard fans, or just anyone who's a fan of Inter, you probably noticed something about this squad in particular, and that is the absence of Mauro Icardi in this save. He was actually sold to Chelsea, and one thing I'm thinking of doing is bringing him back, because obviously Inter Milan fans like him quite a lot. He's the captain, obviously, of the squad. There's a lot of players up for sale, as you can see, a hell of a lot of players are up for sale, and it's just simply because a lot of this side is either aging or at the point where a lot of the players are literally at a point where you know they're not going to make it. So we've got Andrea Ranocchia here, 30 years of age, 76 overall. He's only going to start declining. If you are an Inter fan, or you happen to know a lot about Serie A, probably more than me, and you see that I'm selling a player who really should not be being sold, or he's an Inter fan favourite or whatever, then tell me in the comments section, because I always try and stick to realism and make sure that I'm not selling someone who's been at the club for like 10 years or something and is an absolute fan favourite. So do drop that in the comments section. In terms of things that are going to be staying from Hull Career, this is basically like a spin-off, if you like, of what happened with Hull Career. So a lot of the features that were in that series are going to be, maintained. Player of the episode will continue. The Hall of Fame will continue. There'll be some other things as well. I'm going to try and make this a bit better edited as well. So the quality of this series is definitely going to be better than the quality of the whole career series. You can count on that. Season has just ended, and context-wise, Eder, who was an Italian striker, did very well at the Euros. He was playing at Inter Milan. Was only on loan, so he's gone back to Sampdoria, and the two players that were on loan away from our club, including Dodo and Loris Zonta, have returned to the club. Also worth noting, Safir Taida, any fans of him, you won't be seeing him in the next season. He'd agreed to leave to Paris Saint-Germain on a pre-contract agreement before we even joined the club. Now, one thing I'm sure people have been wondering is, because this is the same save as the Hull City career save, we've left it at the exact same point as we left Hull, are any of those Hull players going to come with us? And to be honest with you, yes, I'm wanting that to happen because I want to maintain the identity of this series as one actual long series, not just two split-up series, but that was the whole point of carrying on in the same save. So I am wanting to take a few of the Hull players with me to Inter Milan. New season has begun. Let's check out the objectives. Short term, we've got to grow one youth academy player by at least 10 overall points and then play them in 5 matches, either as part of the starting 11 or coming on as a sub. Sign one youth player to the senior team at the same season they were scouted and play them in 10 matches, either as part of the starting 11 or as coming on as a sub. That one's definitely possible. We could easily do that one. In terms of the long term, decrease the average age of the squad to 25 within 2 seasons. That should be pretty doable as well, given the average age is only 26.1. The reason behind a lot of that is because a lot of the players that we're selling, who are sort of 30 or 31. Brand exposure, which is critical, gain 102 million in earnings from shirt sales within a season. In the long term, earn 17 million pounds through media earnings or competition prize money within 3 seasons. That's extremely easy, surely, because you get more than that if you win the Champions League. I think you get more than that if you even get to like the semis of the Champions League. So continental success, reached the final of the Champions League, and in terms of domestic success, they just wanted to win everything. And then financial, within 2 seasons, increase the club worth of your club by 20%. Again, we'll have to see whether that's possible, but I never really paid much attention to the club worth. Right then, so it is time for the pre-season tournament, and the Invitational Cup over here on the left is probably supposedly joint easiest with the one on the right, and it's also worth more money, so we might as well go ahead and go for this one. Right, so here's how things are looking in terms of the transfer budget. We've got, if in that split, which is probably more realistic, we've got £35 million to spend. So we've had a first transfer bid come in. It's actually only a loan offer for Senna Miange, we'll call him Senna for now. It's coming from Ascoli though, and they're wanting to bring in the Belgian left back on a 1-year loan, and he will drop down to Serie B on a loan deal. In terms of pre-season competitions, this is something that I didn't think about. Everyone's away on international duty. We have got some players still. D'Ambrosio and Saldi, Perisic and Brozovic are still at home, same for Kandreva. So then time to sim the first game of the pre-season tournament. We've salvaged a pretty decent side actually, to be honest with you, out of the one with players away for international duty. We'll let this play out actually. Brozovic has actually given us the lead after 3 minutes. Stevan Jovetic has doubled our lead though as well, which should really put the game beyond any sort of doubt, although Brozovic has now got sent off. So third goal though coming in from Ivan Perisic, and that is how the game ends. Decent 3-0 win then in our first game in charge, technically, although it's not in actual competition against Sydney FC. Unfortunately for us, Marcelo Brozovic was suspended in that first game of the pre-season tournament, and Eloge, or I'm just going to call him Yao Guy until someone tells me how to pronounce it, unfortunately tore his hamstring and will be out for 6 weeks, but given that's happened right at the start of July, he'll probably be back for use as a substitute at the start of the Serie A season, so we should be okay. Just quickly before we get into any transfer activity of our own in terms of buying any players, I'm just going to quickly skim through the shortlist that we've got at the moment, and you can see that it's basically a very wide range of positions. Got Elzid Husai, even very good player, 82 rated, only 24 years of age. Ricardo Pereira as well from Porto, looks very, very good, a lot of great attributes there. Guillermo Maripan, who plays in Chile. This is another thing as well, I'm trying to make it so that we're signing players from realistic places. A lot of Colombian and South American players at Inter Milan. I'm trying to make sure that we keep with that trend, as well as Portuguese, French players here. Jibril Sidibe of Monaco, Rafael Guerreiro of Dortmund, but obviously from Portugal, and also just some players that are based in Italy. We've got Adam Nodge of Bologna, Kevin Balanta, a Colombian defensive midfielder from Deportivo Cali. He'd be more of a backup player rather than someone who'd get into the starting 11. Thomas Lamar, who I'm pretty sure is about 82 rated, although for some reason he isn't scouted, but I'm pretty sure it said he was 82 rated earlier. Riyad Mahrez as well, potentially as a winger to bring in. We've used him already on this channel, but Moses Ogier, again, another player who'd be a backup, just a decent centre mid who plays in the second division of Italy. Peter Zielinski of Napoli, Daniele Baselli of Torino, Jean-Michel Seri from OGC Nice, Miguel Almiron, I think, is from Paraguay. I can't remember what team he plays for, but he's a very good player. You can see already, even though he's not got an overall yet, his attributes are likely to be very good. Marco Verratti would be a very, very interesting one. We'll have to wait and see, but obviously plays for PSG, but from Italy, so that'd be a quite nice transfer almost, to be fair. Andre Horta, very, very good potential, but not quite reaching it yet, but he's a very good player from Benfica. Yuri Tielemans, Marco Roy or Rog, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's from Napoli, 80 rated, only 22 years of age. Jalon Barrera, I don't know if you can see it in that terrible text, but he's currently playing for City, but he's from Colombia. Hakim Ziyech of Ajax. Riccardo Orsolini, another player who's playing in the second division of Italy. That would be quite a cool one to bring in as a backup player. Mauro Icardi, here he is, 86 rated, playing for Chelsea. We are definitely going to try and sign him and bring him back, because I'm pretty sure he's a fan favourite, to be honest. He's the captain of the club, obviously. Andrea Belotti, Jason Vargas, the Chilean, 86 potential, playing for Estudiantes. And we've also got Kylian Mbappé-Lotin, who's been making a name for himself in the Champions League recently from Monaco. Time then, before we get into any transfer activity just yet, to play the second Invitational Cup game of our pre-season tournament, away from home against Perth. Pretty similar squad, actually. I'll probably mix it up a little bit for the Barca game. Stevan Jovetic has given us the lead, and Ivan Perisic has doubled our lead just 5 minutes later, so again, looks as if we should be pretty comfortable in this one. We'll sim to the end, and Jovetic got his brace, and we win the game 3-0 overall. Final pre-season tournament game of the group stages. We should already be through. We've got a very good chance of going through, given our goal difference, unless we get absolutely smacked here. And Barca's squad is a very, very weakened one. They've got some good players: Olivier Vescagli, Lucas Digne, Sergi Sampa is playing as well. But apart from that, it's actually a much weaker team than I was expecting it to be when I put my own out, and hence we've taken the lead through Stevan Jovetic with a penalty. Perisic has scored, but his countryman Rakitic has got a goal back right at the end, but we do still win the game. We've also got a loan offer coming in for Nabil Jardi, who is someone that's probably not going to feature whatsoever. He's probably lucky we're not selling him, actually, but I thought I'd give him a chance. He's going out on loan to Blackburn Rovers for a year. Time for the semi-finals of the pre-season tournament. Once again, putting out really the strongest side we can probably put out. We're just being safe. I really feel like we need the money, to be honest with you. If we had 50 mil at the start, I'd probably be playing a lot more younger players. Although, to be honest with you, a lot of the players at Inter aren't, a lot of the youth academy style players, like your Fosu Mentas and Borthwick Jacksons at United, aren't that good. We have got a very easy victory, though, against Manchester United in the pre-season tournament. So we've got 3 million in terms of additional budget for that win in the semi-finals. That's on top of the 2.5 million that we got for getting out of the group, so we've already earned £5.5 million there. We've also made some inquiries for some younger wingers in terms of backup wingers behind the likes of Kandreva and Perisic, and whoever we bring in as another strong right midfielder for the side. Kylian Mbappé-Lotin was the first that we looked at. Monaco are considering a bid of £12 million, and Estudiantes wants 17.5 for Jason Vargas. I don't know what Vargas's overall is, but I know Mbappé-Lotin is 77. So we're going to go ahead and make a bid much below 12. We're going to still test the waters. There's no point making a 12 million bid straight away. Obviously, something we've got to remember as well, we've got a lot of ammunition when it comes to trade deals. So, because we've got a lot of players that are up for sale, so that might actually work in our favour. Let's have a little look. What we're going to do is we're going to send Dodo, who is a 77 rated left midfielder, but he's 26. He's not going to get used. And we're going to send him over with £1 million. So they're the same player in terms of rating, but obviously Dodo is a lot older. In fact, we'll put 2 mil on, because I think it'd be a bit stupid to accept 1 mil plus this Dodo guy from Brazil. We will make a similar bid as well for Jason Vargas from Estudiantes, but we'll increase the bid, from the 2 million that we've gone for Mbappé-Lotin to £4 million, and then the same player being Dodo. I realise I haven't tested him out, and I realise he's still a decent player, but right then, this is a big one. We've got a bid here for Gary Medel. Now, this is the one exception when it it comes to fan favourites. He may well be a fan favourite at Inter Milan, and I apologise if he is, because I'm going to sell him. And the reason for it is there's just no point. There is no point. He's 30 years of age. He's going to start dipping off the cliff, and we just can get better players for the same amount of money. So I do strongly apologise. We are going to though ask for the asking price, if not a little bit more. We'll put a counter offer of 16 mil on and see what they say about that. Time then for the final of the pre-season tournament. Again, not going to play it because I don't want to waste all of your time. It's against Atletico Madrid. Again, I haven't really learnt my lesson. Atletico probably playing a quite weak side, and we're playing a really strong one. But although actually, having said that, looking at Atletico's side, Moya, Vasilico, Savic, Felipe Luis, it's actually a very strong side indeed. But we've still taken the lead, through Antonio Candreva, and Perisic has doubled our lead, so we're well on the way actually towards winning this entire tournament with a 2-0 lead going into the final half an hour of the game. I'm going to let it play out because there's not too much left, and we do win it. We win the game 2-0, and with that earn the maximum amount of prize money that we could have got from the tournament overall, which is always nice to see. Estudiantes then have accepted our bid of £4 million plus Dodo straight up. No haggling, no negotiating. They've just gone straight in and accepted it. So Monaco, however, have decided that they are not willing to accept that bid because they're not interested in the player, and obviously the cash amount on its own is not enough because it's only £2 million. So, okay, yeah, we'll go with Zeturbo for now, and we'll see what Monaco say, and we'll probably bump the bid up to £4 million and see what they say about that deal. Valencia are not willing to pay the, I think, was it £16 million price tag we put on Gary Medel? To be honest with you, 15 mil is enough. For a 30-year-old player, it is not a bad shout, and that would bump us up to 60 mil. Now, Monaco, once again, are not really willing to go for the swap deal, which is really a shame, because with all the hype around Kylian Mbappe Lotin, I do want to bring him in, even though he's quite an overdone transfer. I think we're just going to go ahead and try and sign Jason Vargas from Estudiantes. They're the same rating. Mbappe Lotin is a year younger, and I think Vargas has got a potential of 1 less, but I'm not willing to pay like 12 million for Mbappe Lotin when I could get Jason Vargas for 4. There's confirmation then that Gary Medel has been sold to Valencia for 15 mil. We've only received 11.5, which is quite stingy from the board, but it is a shame, I suppose, to sell Gary Medel. I do realise he's a very good player, but again, as I've already specified, he is aging, and I hope Inter Milans aren't too furious with me. But nevertheless, after selling a player, it's time for quite the opposite. We're going to be bringing in a player now, and it is going to be Jason Vargas, and you can see actually, because of the trade deal and Dodo going in the other direction, we're actually gaining wages from this deal, which is always nice to see. So Jason Vargas, then, the young Chilean, 77 rated left winger, 20 years of age, will become the first signing of this Inter career mode and the first signing of our new job in the Calcio A. Hopefully the fans will be pretty excited about this transfer because it's the first of many to come. Here's the stats then for Jason Vargas. This is his attributes page. Pretty pacey, very agile, and good at dribbling is the young Chilean. Crossing could be a little bit better. It's only 76, but again, that can be improved upon in training. We'll definitely get straight on with training this guy. Maybe a little bit lacking in strength, but it's not the worst I've ever seen. And crucially for a winger as well, which is quite rare, he's got pretty decent stamina too. We've got a loan offer then for Michele De Gregorio, who is a young goalkeeper playing an Inter, 66 rated. He's probably not got the greatest potential, but he's going to go out on loan to Terni, who I believe play in Serie B. So, looking at the chief exec's comments, Chelsea are likely to want between 47 and 54 mil for Mauro Icardi, the once captain of Inter Milan, and if he returns, he will be the captain once again. We're going to test the waters. We're not going to go overboard, and it's going to be probably quite an insulting bid. We're going to go ahead and make a £35 million bid. Mixed emotions right now, given the plethora of emails we've just received. Chelsea have set a £70 million price tag on Mauro Icardi. Now, I know we're not going to have to pay 70 mil. What that means in translation is if you pay around about 55 mil, we'll probably accept it, or 50 mil. But that is still quite a lot of money, and it's certainly money that I don't want to splash out on now, given there are definitely positions in this side we absolutely have to strengthen, especially the fullbacks. We're going to sign him at some point during this series. You've got to accept that. We've got to bring the captain back at some point, but it's certainly not going to be today, because we're going to need to sell quite a few more players before we can make that happen. Yao Gai is back from his injury, which is nice. He suffered a 6-week injury in the preseason tournament, so he'll be back for the start of the season. But one player that won't be back for the start of the season is Christian Ansaldi, who's suffered an anterior cruciate ligament injury, so he's done his ACL in and he's out for 4 months, which I believe means we won't be able to sell him, which is frustrating. That's like £8 million that we can't gain in this transfer window more than anything, and on top of that, obviously we can't use him. Now, as much as I'd love to play the Supercoppa, which I believe is the alternative to the Community Shield over in Italy, I get the feeling this video would be about 12 hours long. We discussed it a little bit earlier. I want to bring in some Hull players, just a few, just a couple of Hull players back in, just so we can keep a little bit of an identity from the whole series. And obviously there were so many good players in that series, we're going to be spoilt for choice. So in the top right of the screen, you will be able to see a poll. There'll be a vote to the top 5 or the most influential or biggest fan favourites that were in the Hull City save. The top 2 out of the vote, out of the results, will be the 2 that I signed. So say, I don't know, Cosiello and Afori are the top 2 in terms of the vote. Those are the 2 players that I would bring in. The other 3 will have to either not sign or maybe sign at a later date. We'll have to wait and see, but make sure to vote in that poll in the top right of the screen. That, though, brings to an end this first episode of the Career Mode, starting in Season 3 of a Career Mode save. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, I do realise it's been a bit of a slow burner in terms of transfer activity. It's just been the way it goes. It always is, because I want to have the interactivity with you guys, and I haven't had that opportunity yet, obviously, because this is the first episode. But there'll be lots more transfers happening. We've got to bring in multiple players. We've got to bring in 2 fullbacks, a winger, and then there'll be the 2 players that we bring in from Hull City, and potentially Icardi as well. So it's going to be a good 6 players, maybe even 7 more players coming in this transfer window that I'm hoping you guys will enjoy, and it should make for some good action. If you have enjoyed this video and you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and the support on this channel has been mental recently. There'll also be an RTG coming as well within the next week or week and a half, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled for that too. The new Career Mode series are literally falling out of my ears at the moment. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.
Yo, biddy bang, biddy boo. Man can't fuck with a lot of them crew. Put 1, 2, 9 holes in the queue. Wanna ride on me, you better change that route. I'm a lyrical animal straight out of the zoo. Big mic man, big like Big Zoo. 15 going OC on my own, done it all alone. I never been a bring true. KYE, the hardest YG, my G. Better know he kicks like Kung Fu. Try me, you must have won some food.